The Cuvée Group is a Florida-based marketing and training consulting firm. We help businesses communicate to their target audience and engage them in conversation. We also help to expand their audiences, which will ultimately result in growth for those organizations. In addition to being a certified constant contact specialist, my colleagues and I are also certified in John Maxwell Leadership Principles. We use these proven principles to conduct workshops, training, and private coaching sessions for individuals and companies looking to take things to the next level. Contact us to schedule a free consultation. Issues today, don't delay, call Cuvée.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge, featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. Visit our website, www.slowburnwaco.com. That's www.slowburnwaco.com. All right, welcome to a live episode Sunday
Somebody
evening.
like that beat, Brian.
Yeah, I know it is pretty catchy. Welcome to the BCSN.
Who was that, Boston Richard?
My bad. Hell no. Boy,
Too early in the show for that, Kelvin. Too early in the show.
Man, we come in firing.
Okay.
He fired shots already.
Firing in with jokes, man. Hey, welcome to the BCSN Sports Wrap. Brian Fulford, A.D. Drew. We are your normal host, but joining us is our co-host from our O&G Strike Zone show. That's Kelvin Rosier. K. Rosier, how you doing, man? Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Hey, how y'all guys doing, man? Thanks for having me, man. And it's gonna be an interesting show.
Yeah, seems like there's something going on regarding our Rattlers. So it was like, man, we gotta go on and have Rosier in here to kind of talk about it, man. Just to kind of, get in here and get it on. So hey, for those of you who are maybe new to the sports wrap, or me and Drew, about to start year number 7 of doing this show. Make sure you're following our show on the Black College Sports Network at my BCSN1. The number 1 is where you can find us. Download the Jericho Broadcast Networks app on the Google Play or Apple App Store. My JBN, my BCSN is where you can find us. So all things HBCU sports specifically on this show. So even though, AD and I are Rattlers, we do talk about the HBCU diaspora. It just so happens that on this particular episode, the lead story.
O&G takeover.
Yeah, O&G takeover. So the lead story is, Jackson State head. No, I'm just kidding. The lead story happens to revolve around Florida A&M University. So let me get some quick shout outs as I'm seeing the people who have checked in early. Our host of regulars and good friends, Tamara T, jumping in. David Garner, Bull pops in. Mary 305, and I'm sure we'll have others as the show. Make sure you are subscribed to the Jericho Broadcast Network's YouTube page. That's the host platform for all of our shows that appear on the Black College Sports Network. So make sure you subscribe and hit that bell so that way you'll get notified anytime there's a show. Okay, so let's just set the headline. All right, so here's what happened. Friday. Okay, so let's first. I'm going to do this in sort of a chronologic thing here. I want to know. First question I'm going to ask you in a second is, where were you when you got the notification? For me, okay, I'll start with me. I was in a sleep coma. Yes, I was on my couch. I should have been packing for my trip. As you can see from my background, I'm at my sister's up in the ATL, a little bit closer to Birmingham. But so I was going to be traveling Saturday, but I get a call and a text from our good friend Jawanza Green, who we had on the show a couple weeks ago, right? So Jawanza, my guy, hits me up and he's like, B, what is this? What's going on? Did you see what happened? I'm like, huh? What? I'm like, huh? I'm like, the last time I was waking out of a sleep, it wasn't good news. So I'm already kind of like, oh, what's going on? What's the matter? What happened? And he said, man, are you not seeing what happened with FAMU? Coach Simmons has sent out a statement on social media. And I'm like, huh? What? I'm like half asleep, right? Trying to figure out what was said, what was posted. And so on social media, Coach Simmons makes a statement. We'll get into all that in a moment. But that's where I was when it all happened. Drew, where were you? When did you catch wind of this? And then, Kelvin, I'm going to ask you the same thing.
Kind of like you, Brian, I had dozed off a little early, maybe around 10-ish or so. I woke up. Don't remember why I woke up. I don't remember if it was phone call or just nature call, but it was some kind of call that happened at that point in time. So I just got up, and normally before I kind of fall asleep, I just kind of check Facebook, check Twitter, just to kind of scroll through and see what's going on. And I think I saw it on my Twitter feed first. Mm-hmm. I'm like, interesting. Then in the group chat that we're all a member of, then I don't remember who posted it in our group chat first, but somebody posted it also in our then I saw it had been posted in our group chat after I had saw it on Twitter. And I'm like, man, what's going on? And then, you start looking at this stuff, and I found the video and all that, and just kind of, I was up for another hour or two, just kind of
right.
Was starting to break on this. It was almost like the moon landed or something.
Exactly. It's well said. Kelvin, where were you? What time of the evening was it? Where were you when you got all the info?
It really came out of left field, right? Because Friday night, me and my baby girl, I went to take her to see the Barbie movie, and I actually ran into Dr. Robinson and his wife there. And
did he know at that point?
If he did, he didn't let on that he knew. So,
I'm just curious. Just ironic that you ran into him.
Yeah, it was very ironic. And anyway, after the movie and everything, we went and got something to eat and came to the house and, kind of laid in, got some rest and my Twitter feed as well as my text started blowing up. And so sometimes Saturday morning, like you all in the middle of the odd hours, I was made aware of that there was this budding story coming out there. So it was probably somewhere between 2 and 4 in the morning when I became aware of it.
So Coach Simmons' tweet, 10:32 p.m. is when he sends it out. Now, I believe Coach Simmons is also very active on Facebook and Instagram, all of which the same. Now, I didn't check to see whether they all went out at the same time, but knowing him, I got a feeling he probably posted all of these messages, or this message, which is the same message on all of these social media platforms, Friday night, 10:30 p.m. And so just for the purposes of our conversation here, just to read what he said. He said, earlier today, it was brought to my attention that a rap video was shot by a prominent rapper in the football locker room of Gallimore Powell Fieldhouse without proper authorization. The video contained graphic language that is not consistent with Florida A&M's core values, principles, and beliefs, and an internal investigation is underway to determine who authorized the use of not only the athletics facility at Gallimore Powell, but also licensed apparel that potentially violates university branding and licensing agreements. Although I am a proud proponent of free speech and support all forms of musical expressions, the football team, as ambassadors of Florida A&M University, has a responsibility to protect the university's image. As a result of this unfortunate situation, as head football coach, I am effectively suspending all football-related activities until further notice. It is a privilege to wear the orange and green, and as a football program, our young men have failed to live up to the standards set before us. They will all learn from this mishap, and we will continue to work hard every day to become the best versions of ourselves and continue to make Rattler Nation proud. Willie R. Simmons, head football coach, Florida A&M University. All right, so there it is. And go. Instagram, Twitter, and everybody go nuts and go ham over that. What part of that statement, Kelvin, I'm going to come to you first. What part of that statement rang true, rang hollow, was concerning as you read through it, and maybe even read through it a second time?
I think the thing that first caught my attention really was the potential, the branding and license agreement violating universe, because I just thought that was a stretch, but I knew us being FAMU, we got the LeBron deal, even though we don't have much of LeBron apparel for football yet. That's still being produced. I knew folks would gravitate to things like that. Folks look for the negative in things. I thought the tone and what Coach Simmons said was pretty spot on for the most part. I thought it was reasonable. They are ambassadors. They are ambassadors. Yeah, they are ambassadors to the university, highly visible as we see now. And I'm sure that's one of the lessons that they'll take from this. Also, the players, is that even though I don't think there was malice intended in any of this, we are FAMU, and because we are FAMU, people pay attention, and so we have to be mindful. And I just wonder why they didn't run this by somebody, right? Or did they? Right? Typically, if something like this, hey, somebody in the group would speak up and say, hey, man, this is cool and everything, but let's ask Coach if this is all right, or let's ask this person. And I just wonder if that didn't happen, and if it didn't happen, why didn't it happen?
We're gonna get into that in a second. Let me ask you a question.
That comment.
Yeah, exactly. When you mentioned the apparel portion of this that caught your eye, what did you see? I only watched maybe the first 10 seconds of it, and then I was like, oh hell, I can't watch this. And so I don't what part of the apparel stuff did you see that caught your attention?
I was like you. I still haven't watched the whole thing, but I mean, they just had the helmet on. I saw one of the polos on with the Nike swoosh on it.
Yeah, I mean, like what might have been a violation?
I just think they were, because they didn't know and they were trying to get out in front of. Coach was trying to get out in front of, which I do applaud. Mm-hmm. You know, when he released this statement, nobody had really seen the video, and nobody knew what he was talking about. So
exactly.
So I thought, I thought that was massive for getting in front of it. But I didn't think or see anything where we would be in potential trouble for violating license agreement. I know that the stuff made for football is specific to football and it's not commercial, and so I can understand, but I just think it was trying to cover all bases just in case.
Okay, Drew, your thoughts on Coach Simmons' statement? What lines or what within his statement caught your eye?
Well, I'm kind of like Kelvin with the licensing, the stuff with the licensing and branding. The first thing that I noticed was the white FAMU football helmet.
Okay. So, which is one of the two core helmets that we have.
Right. Team issue.
Okay.
You know, that's a team issue item. So was there any licensing agreements broken with that, with somebody who's not a member of the team or football operations being in possession and wearing that helmet? Same thing with the Nike Polo that I saw in the video. Was that a team only polo and everything else that was branded FAMU? Was that team issue only? Or was that stuff available for the general public? Obviously, if it's stuff available for the general public, no harm, no foul on that particular portion of it. But once again, if that was team issue stuff, then you could be in potential violation of said agreements. So those were the things that brought it out. That first thing that I noticed. Then let's talk about. Do I want to talk about what are the elephants in the room? Because you got a whole zoo of elephants here right now, Brian.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right, I'll start with this one. The fact that it was shot in the locker room,
mm-hmm.
the sanctuary of team sports is the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
That is the one place where student athletes are supposed to have privacy at. Media does not even normally get into the locker room without special permission.
Right.
The president doesn't come into the locker room without clearing it with the coach first. So for somebody to invade the sanctity of the locker room, that was kind of concerning to me.
I had the same thought about the locker room and the sanctity of the locker room. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So thank God the locker room was clean. I will say that, because we know some of these locker rooms are not the most I won't say well kept, but if you walk in at the wrong time after they've come off the field or whatever, you still got towels laying around, clothes laying around that the equipment people haven't had opportunity to pick up. So thank God that the locker room was actually clean. You just saw one or two bags up on top of people's lockers, but everybody's locker was pretty much clean. But that's the one thing. Now, I've got some other thoughts on the whole field house situation, but I'm just going to leave it right there for right now so that I don't take up too much of the conversation.
Well, let me throw something at you guys. You guys both kind of brought up the licensing part, right? Which, for me personally, I couldn't really make heads and tails.
Let me throw this out, Brian. And at 10 o'clock on a Friday night, you don't know, because chances of you being able to catch up with the lawyer for the university who would have to answer that question is a 50-50 call. And probably what happened was some way, somehow, President Robinson, after Kelvin saw, got hold of this via a phone call or via a text. Like, Mr. President, have you seen this? I think you need to jump on top of this. President called the athletic director. Athletic director called the head coach. And you better figure this out real fast. This cannot wait until the morning. So, and a lot of people have been wondering why Coach Simmons said something and didn't just like kind of let this go quiet and sweep it under the rug, because there's nothing really going on. You know, everybody's focusing on media day. Did y'all not see what just happened at Northwestern 3 weeks ago? Mm-hmm. Whether the coach knew or whether the coach didn't know what was going on at Northwestern, he had to fall on the sword for Northwestern. Mm-hmm. So the moment that Coach Simmons knew what was going on, he had to publicly do something before he wound up in a situation like Northwestern. Whether he knew, whether he didn't know, whether he could condone, whether he didn't condone, he did not address it. That's what happened at Northwestern. Coach Simmons did not let that happen to him. He stepped out in front of it. Some people may agree with him stepping out in front of it. Some people may disagree with him stepping out in front of it. But he did what he had to do at 10 o'clock on a Friday night to best handle that situation right now. And what's the next thing? We're going to talk about this all on Monday. We got the whole weekend to figure this out. We're going to talk about this on Monday.
Hey, there is nothing worse than having a story break on the weekend. Now, especially in the summer. Now, hey, sometimes it's good to have a story break on a Friday because you got the whole weekend and people will forget about it on Monday. But in the dead of summer, yeah, that's a bad time to have a story like this break out. But let me bring your attention to, you guys brought up the licensing. And as I look back on this, and I think it's important to talk about the timeline, the first two words in the statement caught my eye, and the first sentence, earlier today. So this video comes out on a Friday, right? Now, it wasn't shot on Friday night. Actually, if you were to go to the young man, I'm not condoning you to go to the young man's Twitter page, but I happen to go there. He makes a reference that, a shout out to somebody, probably his editor, video editor, that, hey, we got this video shot in 24 hours. Now, there's two major scenes in the video. For those who haven't seen the video, there's the locker room scene, and then there's the scene at night outside of Spurs or some gas station.
It's a marathon now, but
it's a marathon now. Okay,
it was a Spur when we was in school.
I got you. Okay, so that tells me that if you did this in 24 hours, then most likely this happened on a Thursday. Okay, I'm kind of doing. He said 24 hours. So if you look at when he released the video on social media, it was Friday. Okay. So here the timeline is interesting because Coach says earlier today he was brought to his attention. Okay. And the investigation will reveal later on who brought it to his attention. But guys, I had you tell me about my theory here, and we can get into talking about how this happens now. I think a lot of people, I see people commenting, talking about where was security at night? Did somebody sneak the players? Did the players sneak him in or something like this? I'm gonna go left here on this thought, right? Because after seeing the timeline, I wondered, okay, if the scene at the Spurs was shot on Thursday night, and this young man, and Kelvin, I want you to talk about this in a second. This young man had already been around the FAMU program, so he wasn't a stranger to the program. And Drew, you just talked about the sanctity of the locker room. Coaches don't just randomly go through the locker room, right? What if this was shot in the dead of the day when the young man probably came up on campus. There might have been some guys in the locker room or up on campus already. And, you know, he's already cool with some of these guys and, you know, gets to talking and it just kind of does like, hey, yo, we got this new song that we about to drop. You know, yo, y'all want to be in a video? How about we do this right here in the locker room? It takes all of one cell phone and another phone that's going to play the music for this thing to get shot in about a 30-minute window. If you saw the clips that he did.
Can I debunk that for a second, Bryan?
Hold on. Let me finish it and then go ahead and feel free to debunk all the hell you want. I'm just throwing a theory out there. Okay. That if this got shot on an iPhone in the daytime, you know, while other coaches are maybe in their office on the other side, music's playing, you don't really know. It's guys in the locker room. He could have shot this and just, hey, we're going to make a video. And it could have been, hey, I'm going to put this on Instagram, or we just going to do a little fun thing on Instagram. Next week, you know, it becomes part of this video, this bigger thing. Now, that may sound nefarious to some people, but I'm just trying to think, like, young people may not be thinking about the consequences and be thinking of, hey, should I get authorization? Because, yo, this is one of our guys. This is one of our dudes. And so 24 hours, all of a sudden it gets cut, chopped up, put together, dropped on YouTube. And then unbeknownst to Coach Simmons, somebody says, yo, Coach, did you see this video that Boston Richie put together? And Coach is like, yo, who did this? When did this happen? All right, so now Kelvin, Drew, debunk, whatever. Let's talk about how this happens.
I want to go first, and I'm going to go real quick with this, Bryan. I guarantee you that video was not shot with an iPhone, Bryan. And the reason you can tell is because of the quality of the video. Now, and I know iPhones can do some videos.
Shot with an Android.
If you shot that with an iPhone, you could tell lighting and other things were brought in to shoot that video. That was just not something that you just randomly pulled out your phone and just started recording it on. You could tell there was a tripod. You don't see it jumping. I don't care how much of a stabilizer that you have on your phone or not. You could tell that there were tripods, there was lighting, there was other things that needed to be done in order to shoot that video Bryan, whether you like the song or whether you don't like the song, the production quality of that video was pretty damn good. So dude, that was more than an iPhone 14, Bryan.
Come on now, have you seen what? Do you know what they're shooting movies?
Right, I do. I work again, but he wasn't holding that phone like this. He had a tripod.
They got handheld stabilizer. I'm just saying, you don't think that
lighting. Somebody had to walk in there with more than a backpack, with maybe multiple backpacks or a duffel bag to set all that stuff up. You had to have a boom mic. You had to have all this kind of stuff.
Hey. Oh my God! Okay.
He might be on to something.
You had to have something.
I believe Drew on something.
People with multiple bags that came in there to shoot a video of that quality, Bryan. This is not an IG post. This is not a TikTok. This was quality work.
Quality. Lord have mercy.
The videography was quality.
Oh my God.
The song I think is garbage, but the videography is quality, Bryan.
Okay.
I agree. Oh. Hey, I agree with Drew on terms of what kind of equipment was done. And I'll tell you, I keep it real simple in the fact that the lighting. If you ever been in and seen the lighting in the locker room, there's no way you could get that kind of quality without bringing in some kind of professional lighting to that area. So definitely, it can't be done. Hey, man, okay. Walk through that locker room, man.
That's a whole other side.
Even if the ring lights, you had to bring in ring lights.
All right.
But but anyway, regardless, how I
as
look
I
at
said, it was just a
yeah,
theory. So, but whatever.
yeah.
Okay, moving forward.
Yeah, how I look at them being in the locker room. First of all, let's talk about what was going on. Right now? It's July, so you have player-led workouts,
Right.
and so because right now the NCAA won't allow for coaches to be a part of any kind of official workouts until the
8 hours.
fall.
You get 8 hours.
Yeah, until the fall season starts, right? Technically, so they can't do any on-field kind of stuff. So the kids are, kind of working out together themselves, and most of them are in summer school. So it's not abnormal for them to be, at Fieldhouse hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we've already established that this guy is a local rapper, and he's been around the team. I'm sure he's probably went to school and grew up with some of the players. We have a lot of local kids on this team, so it probably wasn't abnormal for him to be around, to be honest. And I know that we have some guys who do production, some guys who do rap, so I'm sure someone who's in the industry. You got to remember this guy works with Future and some pretty big names, so it ain't like he's a nobody. So I'm sure the guys are comfortable being around him. What I don't want to do though is label him nor the kids in this case. I see it simply as a bad decision. Young people doing young things. I mean, I go back to when I was that age and the places I hung and the music I listened to. I'm a Luke Skywalker NWA guy. I still got
right
some of that music.
I'm right there.
They're explicit, and I would ride. Poison Clan, and I riding around. And, I'm riding around saying some of the worst things you could ever say. and my partners and some of the young ladies were doing it too. I mean, I wasn't the only one. I wasn't the only one at Avant-Garde or the Moon, Faces jamming to these songs. So, yeah. So this ain't nothing new. No. But I do understand the university position. They have to separate themselves from this, and it's not acceptable. And like I say, my biggest thing is, where were the team leaders since that somebody's in that group to say, hey man, we cool and everything, but we can't do this here, man. Let me at least ask, is this okay before I do that? That's what's really missing for me. But that don't mean that. But that don't mean that the kids ain't good, nor the rap it ain't good. I mean, that's his job. That's what he do. He making money. So, the language is foul and everything. But hell, I just came from. I got to say this. I just came from the Essence Festival and what's her name? Meg Thee Stallion was the closer on Sunday, and the stuff she's talked about and all that twerking that was going on. That's what it is.
Wasn't Frankie Beverly amazed?
Huh? You just went there. Jail Pony Express.
It was a typical closing.
Hey, the absence of leadership is one of the things that a lot of people are talking about and fussing about, and you just mentioned those players. Yeah. Okay, go ahead, Drew.
Quick, alternate theory. Maybe the players didn't have anything to do with this. Maybe he got to one of them 24, 25-year-old security guards to let him into the locker room.
Well, from what I'm told, okay, so one of the things that I asked a few people about how is there like key cards? Is there key access to get into the field house? I'm told there is not. So, this is old school keys. You got to have a key to get into the locker room. And this is why I said the importance of the timeline will establish, was this done after hours? What I would consider after hours, maybe after 6 o'clock, right? Was this done after hours, or was this done in the afternoon? And again, you just talked about the coaches not being allowed to be around. These are player-led things. So there's the recipe there for players who aren't thinking responsibly about the bigger picture, right? Big picture, big FAMU, big representation. I mean, what was it that Coach Simmons just said about being a part of the football team and how you are ambassadors for the university? That they're not thinking that, right? So all of that opens the door for somebody, and I know we're not going. You don't want to. I don't know the young man, right? So I'm not going to say he was trying to take advantage of FAMU. But clearly he wasn't thinking about clearances and reputation, things of that nature. When he went in there and shot the video, put it like that. So I think that's something to be thought about here in this whole thing. Let me ask, what I'm just kind of going through. I'm kind of looking at some of the comments here. Some of the players. Let's go to the players. Now, I'll tell you, honestly, for me, as much as we pay attention and talk about FAMU football, there are some players that I would be able to recognize outside of their uniform, and there are many others on that roster that I have no idea who they are outside of their uniform when they don't have a number on. I'll be perfectly honest. So I couldn't tell you who was in that video, and I'm not gonna call any names out.
Some people have said there were no players. That was just his.
I have heard that. I have heard that.
Video.
I've heard that. I've heard that. Although so I don't know what is and what isn't.
And the reason they say that was his entourage is because you saw the same group in the gas station scene that you saw in the locker room scene.
I know there's,
and it would be. It's not far fetched that the ones in the locker room followed him to the gas station.
Oh, sure.
But the likelihood of it, probably more not than like.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure CSI. Look, the CSI Twitter could surely break this down and establish who is who. If we really,
I thought we were doing law and order.
Yeah, well, I think this is a forensic digital situation here. So we might have to get the CSI Tallahassee on the scene here to figure out who the individuals were. But I don't. So that's the part that kind of I think is part of the investigation that's going to come up here. What other points about this, Kelvin? What other kind of big picture theories have come to mind here? We talked about some things offline. I want to give you a chance to kind of any theories and see if your theories kind of match with where I might want to go here or talk about as well. But I want to give you a chance. What kind of no, see, now that's going to be an interesting thought there. But anyway, go ahead, Kelvin.
Well, I think one of the things I wanted to say is I think this is a learning moment, a teachable moment. And that's how I would like the university to approach it, frankly. You bring your communications team in and your licensing team to kind of talk to the kids about, what is permissible, what is not permissible, and the expectations, and just make it clear that, if there's any questions or any skepticism, ask before acting, And I think the other really learnable thing about this is that we are FAMU. This story to me is not proportionate to the coverage it's getting. It's ESPN, CBS, On3, all these
USA Today.
A lot of media outlets who really never cover HBCUs. But FAMU is a name, is a brand.
Slow news day.
And you're right. There's not a whole lot going on. So anything FAMU, is going to get blown up to this proportion. And I think this is something that the kids can see and realize and learn from. That, you know, hey, everything you do, no matter what the intent was, the results are. And this is how you can impact FAMU's name, FAMU brand, and make national news in a negative light. So I just hope that we approach it as a teachable moment and don't beat up the kids. Or as a matter of fact, I want to talk about just real quick what should be the consequences. For me, something like this, as long as nobody was told not to do something and they defied something, if it's just for face value what it's looked like, you know, you make some guys do some extra lab, do some community service type stuff, and so forth. But I don't even see a suspension for any team member. Or now, if there's something that's
breaking and entering, what about breaking and entering?
Well, I'm not going there, man. I mean,
I'm just saying
there's no reason to go there. I mean, there's no evidence of that. I as someone who knows, let me help you out. As someone who knows that facility well, and all those access points, there are pretty much no card readers and so forth in most of those access points. And even if there were, you know, you throw a rock or something in a door.
Okay.
You know, and depending on the time that this happens, there's a lesser police force available to respond to things. So there's a lot of factors in there, but one area that I think the university could help make these kids make the better decisions is probably invest in upgrading the access points that with technology and actual security of the doors. There's no security guard or someone sitting at the front of a desk most of the time, and you know when you enter that space, but then sometimes they lock the door. So we can improve that area.
True. Go back to that comment. Go back to that comment by EA. That's interesting. Kind of piggybacks on what Kelvin was just talking about. No. EA. It's hold on. I got it.
Right there.
Yeah. 30 years ago. And he said, I played over 30 years ago, and the complaints to the administration for securing the field house and stadium has fallen on deaf ears. Thefts have been a common occurrence there. So as to further illustrate that point that Kelvin's talking about, it ain't that hard to get in there, I guess, as we might imagine it is, or you might hope it is. So again, going back to, hey, my guy, I'm here on campus, man. I'm here at the field house. You know, there's a few guys in the locker room already. Yo, let's get in there. Let's shoot something real quick. I got this new song. It's titled whatever, Blitz to Blitz. I don't know what the hell the name song is anyway. I don't want to get off my lawn, guy, but I really don't know. I just know it has the word blitz, right? So just saying that look, I think there is a overall okay, thanks, Chuck. Send a blitz. Okay, thank you, Chuck. Chuck, you about as old as me. You know that. That's what's up, Chuck. Good. But he also used to listen to all that foul music.
All the stuff that we used to listen to.
That we used to listen to as well. So I got you, Chuck. Appreciate it. Checking in from Monroe, Louisiana. Hey, what I will say as we talk about the leadership aspect of this and the teachable moments, because I had a conversation with somebody and it was kind of like, you know, this is a failure on our leadership. And there's a lot of alums, a lot of folks who think that way, who do think, how did this happen? Where was our AD? Where was the president? You know, things of that nature. This shouldn't have happened. Where was security? Where was FAMU police in this situation? You know, how does something like this happen? And my response,
the same way they took the picture at the naked picture at the Rattler.
Thank you. Thank you. Kids will find a way to do the dumbest S. And, look, thankfully, nothing was defamed. Nothing was destroyed other than our public image. Okay. But nothing was physically harmed. But yes, kids will find a way to do dumb S. So, you thought you had it, whatever messaging now that VP A.D. Sykes and Coach Simmons, when they meet with the team, now you have to go back, like you said, and have that conversation about, we are a brand that everybody will talk about. All press is not good press. You want people to talk about your university, and when your name is associated with the university, it's not, hey, what's going on with that rap video that was shot in the locker room? But you want it to be talked about, hey, you guys are expecting to do this, or hey, you accomplished this. You have an alum that does this. I saw a funny tweet by Roy Wood. You saw that tweet where he said he went to an HBCU night in Texas, and he was wearing a FAMU shirt, obviously representing, and he had a Texas Rangers hat. And he said, man, I went to the game looking to enjoy myself, and I got people asking me questions about a damn locker room and rap video. That's how much this story spread in 24 hours. So there is a great opportunity, a teachable moment for all of the students, no matter the sport, to talk about how you may have thought you covered every base, and then all of a sudden, guess what? Oh, I got one more base to cover because I forgot about, music and social media and how you could be exploited and what that means to you down the road. So, yeah. Drew, what did you want to add? What else did you want to add on this? Just kind of going through the discussions and the chats. I saw somebody talk about the NCAA. I don't think this has nothing to do with the NCAA. Yeah, I don't think this is a NCAA involved issue.
No, it's not.
No. But what I do find interesting, Brian, is this is almost a reverse NIL situation. All the screaming and all the legislation to allow athletes to use their name, image, and likeness because the university has been using their name, image, and likeness for so many years without their permission. Well, I think we just reversed the tables for at least one night where somebody used the university's name, image, and likeness without their permission. Now, how the university handles this is still to be seen. Technically, could the university seek some type of damages? They could. Should they? I don't think so. Because, what does it look like for this big old university going after this small rapper, upstart rapper, who's been a supporter of the university? And if he was not a fan or a supporter of the university, he would have never even been in the locker room. Mm-hmm. So let's be careful, FAMU, or how we tread on this, because you would turn more people off by going after
particularly young people. Particularly young people in the community
in Tallahassee.
Yeah.
Then you will, if you find a way to work with this man, let him apologize. Come on, we know how this works. He apologized. He write a check. Make a donation to the football team. Yada 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 yada, and he's performing at homecoming in 3 months. We know how that is going to play out.
But that's an interesting scenario. No, what you're bringing up is a good point. Think about that, Art.
FAMU's point of view. Go ahead, Brian.
No. I was just saying. Do you feel like we are equipped to do that? Given all of the attention that takes a level of, I think. I don't know if humility is the right word.
Maturity,
but maybe sense of awareness for us as a university, for Florida A&M, to work with this young man to kind of, you know, because if FAMU wanted to come in all hell and brimstone, they could, right?
They have every right to.
They do.
They have every right to, because if this was, let's be real, y'all. If this video was shot at JCPenney would be upset. If this video was shot at McDonald's would be upset. This video just happened to be shot at FAMU, and FAMU has the right to be upset. No doubt about it. But from a PR point, how they react to this can be a big windfall for them, or it could be disastrous for FAMU, because FAMU has the big boy pants on. But they don't necessarily need to take, I'm going to pull my coat. They don't need to take the belt out and whoop somebody on this one. This is what you need. This is what you need to nurture and do this the right way. And, you know, the gear really doesn't mean anything, because if he would have just shot this video at the gas station with the FAMU gear, all it would have showed that he supports FAMU. By him shooting it in the locker room, it gives the impression that FAMU supports him. And I understand why FAMU doesn't want that image in a video that contains 10 N-words, 10 Bs, and 4 guard tool references in a 2.5-minute video.
Hey, hold on. That's only 2 minutes and 22 seconds. I don't know where 4 minutes came from, Drew.
I said 2 minutes. I said 2.5 minutes.
Okay. Yes. 2.5. Yeah, my fault. Yeah. Is that's an official count though? I love that.
I counted it. 10 B's, 10 N-words, and 4 guard tools, along with a few F-bombs and S's and a few other words.
That should have been the name. That should have been the name of this show. We were searching for the name of this show. That should have been the name of this show. 10 B's, 10 N's, and some garden tools. That's it right there. I'm going in and changing the name. That's it right there.
But I understand that. You know, I understand that, especially when you consider that your university, it has a 67% females to 33% male ratio. Yep. So, and
athletic director is a female.
Is a female. And let's see, how many B's do we have in there, and how many guard tools do we have in there? You have a female athletic director. Yeah. We understand. We understand that. And let's be real. We talking about the old folk. Boy, I'm getting ready to sound like my parents on this.
Well, you're old enough. You're old enough to do that.
I am old as my parents was at that point.
Yes, exactly. So now I understand what they were fussing about.
You know, would this be the place if I had I do have a daughter. If I wanted to send my daughter to school that promoted this type of language within their campus, and they promoted, that's why they're taking this type of stance, FAMU.
Yes,
that they want to make sure this image. You know, if the female population leaves Florida A&M University, Florida A&M University is going to go broke. So they have to take this from a female's point
very
of view
seriously
and protect the young ladies at Florida A&M University. So, you know, a lot of people may not understand why FAMU is
and the young people. I'll say this. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Yes.
Last thing. And people say the young men should have used common sense. Let me tell y'all something. Common sense at 20 is different than common sense at 40.
Amen.
And common sense at 40 is different than common sense at 60.
Amen.
So I'll just leave it right there.
Avis, don't be jealous. Don't be jealous that we garner this kind of attention, good and bad. All right. Hey, I will know.
I'm a petty today. I got time. Yeah, we some places people take people radios and all that kind of stuff, you know, from their coaches and stuff. We all got it in our families, right? So this ain't time to shoot shots at each other. we all can do better.
Yeah, it. Hey, I noticed. Yes, he performed at homecoming. Hell, 2 Live Crew might have performed at homecoming back in the day. I'm sure at your homecomings there's gonna be some artists with some questionable background and lyrics, but that's what your kids, your students, love to listen to. Okay. Now, there are schools, though, and I do recall there are always issues with artists that when the put it like this, when the approved list of who's appearing to homecoming comes up before the president and whoever else is in that executive office or decision making, they don't approve every name. I gotta imagine, Kelvin, there you've heard of you've heard of instances where the university didn't approve of such and such an artist, maybe because of the controversy swirling around him, or maybe his or her lyrics or content, regardless of their popularity.
There's always one-offs like that, but generally the homecoming concert there's a committee and it's under SGA, and there's some non-students who may be a part of advising that committee. I was part of the homecoming committee and the chair at least once or twice, so I'm familiar with that process. But generally speaking, the homecoming concert, the students kind of drive that. But yeah, if something extreme is out there and so forth, the university can and should step in to. But I mean, all the acts pretty much now. Like I say, we talk about the makeup of our schools, and ratio males to females and so forth, and that's everywhere at all our schools. It's the same way in a lot of our churches, right? It's a lot of institutions where we've kind of alienated and kind of beat up. I think that male population, and they kind of go the opposite way on us. So that's what I'm saying. In this case, I hope we can inspire and get this particular person to maybe do some more inspirational type things to understand what it means if he wants to be associated with FAMU. He's got to project a better image than that, and so that's what I hope will happen.
Looking for that donation check with that new contract he signed under Future's label. We'll be looking for that new donation to the FAMU football program. Nothing less than 6 figures, personally. If I had my say in it.
Too soon, Jeremiah. Too soon.
The video itself, which I think if I recall, at the time that the memo was released by Coach Simmons, only really had about 50,000 views. It's already
about 350 now.
Yeah, 354,000 views. And I'm willing to tell you that this story is not dead, because this will make its way into the morning news cycle, and I'm predicting that it will make its way into Good Morning America, CBS. I'm trying to think shows that have done stories with and around FAMU. So Good Morning America, CBS This Morning, First Take. Things like this are what drive those shows.
Good thing Skip Bayless not on right now.
Yeah, because he and Uncle Shay might be talking about this, but and so see, that's what's going to be, unfortunately, the thing that hangs over SWAC Media Day. Yes, obviously, I don't know. That's the part that sickens me. I really don't want to talk about it at SWAC Media Day, unless something comes out of these meetings that the president is going to have. And let me, just for the sake of that, let me let me read the official statement, the immediate release from Dr. Robinson, which came out Saturday afternoon, 4:37 p.m. This was released from Florida A&M University. Says FAMU President Robinson's statement on the unauthorized music video shot on campus. I am aware of the unauthorized music video shot on our campus, and I am asking for an immediate investigation to determine how it happened. This video does not represent our core values nor our commitment to quote unquote excellence with caring in all aspects of the university, including athletics. Larry Robinson, PhD, 12th FAMU president. So that was President Robinson's release when he made it. Also, VP A.D. Tiffany Dawn Sykes released a statement Sunday morning, 10:25 a.m. And you guys tell me your thoughts on the sort of the staggered timeline of these releases. I just want to hear your thoughts on it. So from Tiffany Dawn Sykes, I do not have all of the information I need to make a complete and informed statement about the situation at this time. What I do know is that what is portrayed in the video is inconsistent with my expectations of FAMU student athletes. While I am disappointed, this isolated incident does not define FAMU athletics. I am committed to working with campus partners to gather as much information as possible, as quickly as possible. I support Coach Simmons' swift disciplinary action and am committed to educating our student athletes so that missteps like this don't happen in the future.
Which one came out after Coach Simmons? Which one came out second?
Well, so you had Dr. Robinson Saturday afternoon, and then Sunday morning you had A.D. Sykes.
Okay.
And I actually thought hers was pretty well informed. I mean, you know, I love the honesty and transparency of just saying, I don't have all the information right now. I need to get, which if you listen to her, she's pretty good about letting you know if she doesn't know something, she will take time to get an answer after she has an informed thought or opinion. And a lot of people will sometimes jump out there, and we talk about being first instead of being right. A lot of people will jump out there to be first. As we've seen in social media, there have been some posts by various entities on social media that are laughable. Some posts allege that people's scholarships were in jeopardy, and it was like, what? Nobody said anything about anybody's scholarship. You're just making broad assumptions at that point. So stuff like that, you know, when you hear your AD say that, you know, I need to find what is and what isn't, and then work with the people on campus to make sure this kind of thing, and also educating student athletes as to why this is a misstep. What are your guys' thoughts on the timeline? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I tell you a secret, Bryan?
Yeah.
One statement: suspending football operations. Can I tell you a secret, Bryan?
Yeah.
They were pretty much going into a dead week anyway, with finals being over with and the start of fall camp. There wasn't too much that was going to be going on with football operations this week. You got Coach Simmons and a couple other people in the athletic department will be in Birmingham on Monday and Tuesday. So they not missing that right now. He suspended it on a Friday night. They don't work out on weekends most of the time anyway. So they not really missing a whole lot. Weight room will probably be closed next week. You know, this is normally the time where they close the weight room, and you know, this is when everybody involved with football operations take those last couple of days off, because when they come back after next week, they won't see another day off until Christmas, realistically. So, they not suspended football operations. Really don't read a whole lot into that. Now, I'm gonna throw this out there. Let FAMU lose to Jackson State again. Everybody is going to make this the reason why.
I don't know
whether it is or whether it's not. Everybody will point back to this incident.
That ain't happening.
Throw that out there.
That ain't happening.
Let's go to break, Brian. Let's go to break.
I just wanted to make sure. I thought for a second you saw Doc's comments there. I thought that was kind of interesting. It is concerning. Also interesting that you have 3 different statements, and that's why I asked you about the timeline of the statements. So we can talk about that on the other side. Go ahead and hit the break. You're watching the BCSN Sports Wrap. We'll take a short break. Be back in just a moment.
If you think all pads are exactly the same, think again.
All right, welcome back.
If you think all pads are exactly the same, think again. This is Always Ultra Thins reinvented with the Always Triple Protection System. This pad wicks gushes 90% faster, absorbs even more so you can feel dry, and locks odors in. Rethink your pad for up to 100% leak-free and odor-free comfort with the totally reinvented Always Ultra Thins. This is always like never before.
The Cuvée Group is a Florida-based marketing and training consulting firm. We help businesses communicate to their target audience and engage them in conversation. We also help to expand their audiences, which will ultimately result in growth for those organizations. In addition to being a certified constant contact specialist, my colleagues and I are also certified in John Maxwell Leadership Principles. We use these proven principles to conduct workshops, training, and private coaching sessions for individuals and companies looking to take things to the next level. Contact us to schedule a free consultation. Issues today, don't delay, call Cuvée.
Looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics, there's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
T. Madden and Associates is a sophisticated and experienced law firm located in your neighborhood. We're turning injury to cash.
T. Madden and Associates obtained almost $2 million for my injury. They turned my injury to cash.
Now, we can't guarantee how much your injury is worth, but we've recovered millions for our clients.
Call T. Madden and Associates at 833-PAID-123. That's 833-PAID-123.
Stride K-12 powered schools are ready to put over 20 years of being a leader in online education to work for you. Dive into curriculum design for the online classroom. Team up with state-certified teachers trained in virtual instruction. Take control of your child's education journey. Discover the power of personalized learning with a leader experienced in preparing kids for a future they can be excited about. Take charge. Stride K-12. Enroll now for the fall.
Welcome back to the BCSN Sports Wrap. Bryan, A.D, and Kelvin Rosier joining us on this episode as we have been talking about the biggest story happening over the past, I don't know, 48 hours, 36 hours in HBCU sports regarding Florida A&M University. I did want to say, hold on a second here, as I get that cough out of the way, that want to remind everybody, Tuesday morning, the Black College Sports Network will be live in Birmingham, Alabama, covering SWAC Media Day. If you guys have followed us the last couple of years, you know we have been 100% live those 2 days, and I know, which is great about the coverage. More and more people are seeing what we did, what we're doing, and so we'll have more media, I'm sure, at SWAC Media Day, and more people will be going live, I'm sure. But don't forget to follow us. We're there. All of the folks from our shows, I believe most of them will be in attendance. I know myself and Drew will be there. Unfortunately, Kelvin will not. But I know Dr. Cavill, Charles Bishop, Mike Washington will be in the house. I know Jamie Walker, BJ Jones will be there. So I'm sure usually we get a chance, and we usually talk to probably at least 10 of the schools. I don't know if we've actually gotten to all of the schools, Drew, but I know we get most of them. We get most of them. And we'll also get the commissioner. We'll also get Dr. Charles McClellan that'll talk as well. And then we might have some other guests or important VIPs that are wandering around SWAC Media Day. So wall-to-wall coverage. I think we do it for about 4 or 5 hours. So we'll be there before people set up and after people have broken down. So make sure you're watching the Black College Sports Network. Find us on Facebook, at MyBCSN1, on Twitter. MyBCSN.net is the website. You can also find us. And if you've downloaded Jericho Broadcast Network's app there, you'll also be able to watch the feed. MyJBN, MyBCSN. Go download the app on the Google Play and Apple App Store. Yes, and Avis, Israel, I'm glad you guys are listening. I said what I said. We coming. Anyway, let's kind of move.
Y'all need to be nice to that chat room. Some of y'all going at it. Be nice, y'all.
Yeah, we don't have a particular moderator. Like, when we do our O&G, we got Dr. Lori who moderates, and we're kind of letting y'all go free out there. So, keep it respectful. I don't have us have to, from reach out and have to, slow your roll, slow you down. We can have fun, engaged discussions. We don't have to be atting people, and just from there. Okay. What he said. Okay. So right. Yeah. Since y'all think y'all gonna win by 20, hell, we gonna say it too. We gonna win by 20. There you go. All right. So now it's all even now. Everybody thinks their team's gonna win by 20. We coming. That's all I'm gonna say. We coming. Anyway, what I don't know if you want to go back for a second and talk about the statements, Kelvin. The timing of the statements, the 3 different statements. And you saw Dr. Cavill's comments. Now, this is Doc. When Doc says that, my ears perk up, because here's somebody who, consults and works with a lot of universities, a lot of conferences. So to hear him bring that up makes my ears perk up. Your thoughts, Kelvin?
Yeah, I think I know where he's coming from. You kind of want one voice and one statement coming from the university, and it is saying the same thing, and you can put the head coach and the athletic director and president all on it if you want to. But I honestly, I don't know, because of how we operate. And when I say us, I'm talking about HBCUs in general. This is an athletic thing. However, because it involves the university and it went public, this is also a university thing. And so typically folks want to have the voice of the president out there on something that's this public in the media. So I understand where he's coming from with that. It does, but I will say this: I'm just glad that the three leaders did have a statement, and it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, so it's the weekend. Some folks are doing other things, not paying attention, living and dying by this thing, like some of us are. And hopefully after SWAC Media Day, this thing will be over and done with, and it'll be gone, and we can move on and get ready for some football.
Yes, hopefully the talking season is so close to being over, as they say, so close to being over. I'm just curious, Kelvin, if it had to be one voice, I don't know if saying who should it have been, but who would you have preferred to see that one statement come from, and when?
Probably the AD, if it was, ultimately, if it was going to be one voice. And I love the fact, frankly, though, that Coach Simmons' statement came before anybody knew the video existed. We got in front of it. So whatever people got to say after they see it, the bottom line is that we got out in front of it. We made the statements that we need to make. And everybody kind of have a understanding of what the path forward. There's a meeting tomorrow with the players and administration, and from there, whatever's going to be is going to be, and we can move forward. So, I'm fine with it.
There's a small part of me, Drew and Kelvin, that wonders if Coach Simmons doesn't make that statement, did more attention, it's almost like, did more attention come from him making the statement than him not making the statement? I understand why he felt the need to do it. And that's why I said I'm curious, was there some pressure or somebody saying, hey, you need to say this, you need to get out in front of this? But I also wonder, if he doesn't make the statement, is the story not running early Saturday morning that FAMU football coach suspends all activities? You know what I'm saying?
As somebody who has been in those rooms when those conversations have been had, well, first of all, yes, by him making that statement on the surface, he did bring more attention. Because let's be honest, Brian, would you have looked at that video if Coach Simmons hadn't to say anything? Would you, Kelvin? I damn sure wouldn't have. Okay, so on the surface, yes, you are correct. But I've been in that war room, that meeting, when you've had this almost crisis counseling or crisis scenario, and you figure out from a PR point of view how you want to deal with it. So I'm like, Kelvin, the AD at this point in time should have been that one voice coming from the university. But having sat in that room, you get into these two sides butting heads. You get into the athletic side, or how they feel they need to do it from an athletic marketing point of view. And then you get into the academic or institutional side, on how they feel they need to do it to protect. The athletics is protecting the Raptors. The academic institution side is protecting the FAMU brand. Sometimes the visions of those two are not one in the same. Mm-hmm. So this is part of the reason why you may have the multiple statements, because those people who look to Dr. Robinson's statement probably have never seen Tiffany Dawn's statement, and vice versa. There are people who saw Tiffany Dawn's statement who never saw Dr. Robinson's statement. There are people who say Willie Simmons' statement who have not seen either one of the other two. So, you're the damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. But if you wanted one voice to come out of this, you want the athletic director, because she is the head rattler when it comes to the athletics, but she's also a member of the cabinet when it comes to the institution side. So the one person that toes the line between both is the one who should be the front runner in this. And from henceforth, we'll see if it works like this. But in my opinion, she should be the sole voice talking from now on until this issue is put to bed. Not Coach Simmons, even though Coach Simmons is good at what he does, and we know he's a PR genius. Not Dr. Robinson, because Dr. Robinson's Dr. Robinson. We'll leave it at that. If you're a rattler, you know what I'm talking about. She should be doing this. And what better way for a brand new athletic director to put a foothold on the program than to take the leadership and the lead in this situation?
Yeah, I would imagine the Office of Communications would have loved to have been a part of, and they may have. I don't know. Again, this is what'll be interesting.
Oh, somebody. There were multiple people who had their input into what was written by at least Dr. Robinson.
Yep.
And
that part,
A.D. Sykes, and those two, and probably had some input into Coach Simmons' statement, but they came so fast. I don't know how much they went. Willie probably wrote something. Y'all like this? This is what I'm gonna say about this. Somebody went over it and may X out a word or two and sent it back to him. This post this, but I guarantee you the other two were a lot more people who had input on those statements number 2 and statement number 3 than they probably had on statement number 1, because more people were aware of it and got involved in the situation at that point in time.
Okay, so let me address something real quick. EA, in terms of if he doesn't address it, SWAC Media Day is already going to be a circus. I mean, it's going to be a circus with or without, whether he dropped that announcement or not. But at least there would have been one voice. And then to your statement, Drew, who did you say he ran it through he didn't run it through the communications, because I'm pretty sure, the people that I know in FAMU communications would have put it on that FAMU letterhead, or that image letterhead that you saw Dr. Robinson's statement say. So the questions that media will be asking, along with the timeline of things, is say, hey, Coach, when did you release the statement? Why did you run the statement through the president? I mean, Kelvin just shared with us.
I guarantee the athletic director knew what was going to be in that statement before Coach Simmons put it out.
And she waited, well, hold on now. And she waited 36 hours before she made her statement, Drew?
But she
the
probably
two don't go
she probably thought once Willie put it out that was going to be enough to quiet it, not thinking that she would have to come back. Yeah, I realize, Brian, she don't know FAMU like that yet.
I think y'all way in the weeds.
We are. I'm about to start going down a road that I don't want to go down right now. I don't want to go down this road.
It is what it is. What it is.
Don't make me go down this road, Drew.
Let's get through Media Day. Media Day should be about the team and the players, and the upcoming season. And
thank you, EA.
And it'll go away.
Hey, thank you. I 100%. So, All right, but we do need to get on one. I do want us to be on one accord and one voice with this. Now there was something I saw that Vaughn, if you saw Vaughn's interview that he did on HBCU Game Day, there was an angle to this that I thought was kind of interesting, and it was the angle that had to do with the political landscape of Florida and some of the things going on with the governor, who's, some of the policies and things that he's doing.
Totally agree.
And that's a wild card in this, that, again, we're talking about once the Monday morning media cycle catches wind, I mean, this could end up being bigger than what we.
Are we just dreaming up stuff, man? I mean, I think he got way more things to worry about than video edit. I think we going too far with this thing, man. That's just me, though.
Okay. Nothing surprises me. Nothing should surprise you with this governor and some of the things and some of the thoughts.
Well, I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried in that sense about this particular incident. What I'm concerned, my focus is making sure that we deal with our student athletes and the security of our facilities, and that everybody understand what the protocol is, and then move forward and get ready for the season. I choose not to give energy to all that negative stuff. There'll be a time to deal with that. And if it becomes an issue, then it'll be dealt with. But for now, that's too much.
Okay. There's somebody in Governor DeSantis' office who's saying that this type of rap music is a benefit of slavery.
Oh, shit. True.
I mean, he just said slavery was benefited black folk. I don't understand how. It's kind of like D.L. Hughley said. That's just like a handicap sticker benefits somebody who's paralyzed. The fact that they paralyzed, is that a benefit? No, hell no. Anyway, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get political on you, but it's y'all got other problems in Florida than this doggone video. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right. Kelvin, final thoughts on this. Going into SWAC Media Day, what kind of questions? Because I'm trying to find questions that I hope. Look, I know there's going to be certain outlets that are going to ask Coach Simmons about the OBC. They're going to ask Coach Simmons about Kamari Stevens. They're going to ask Coach Simmons about this.
And they should.
Okay. Well,
yeah. I mean, it's news. It's part of. We got a team, a very good team returning, a very experienced team, a very deep team. Regardless of what people say, at the end of the day, you got to line up and you got to face this team. And this team is prepared as any team in the SWAC to run the table. That's the bottom line. So, and the end is going to be the end. We'll see how it all play out. But as far as those things you mentioned that people ask about, it shouldn't be a whole lot of time about those things. Again, for me, SWAC Media Day is about the team, the players, projection of how the season gonna play out, talking about maybe scheduling, new coaches and new places, the best athletes, the best returning all SWAC players and that kind of stuff, man. It's football. Hopefully we'll be talking about ball. And not about no video.
Man, I hope not. I hope not, because I curl up at the just thought of media folk that are going to be asking us, "Oh man, what's going on with FAMU?" I don't know.
Hey, Brian, I'm going to say one other thing that I would do at SWAC Media Day if I'm Coach Simmons and AD.
Yes,
I would have a prepared response that whatever the consequences are going to be will remain internal. And this is the last comment we'll have about this particular situation.
Well, he's gonna have to say that. He's gonna have to say that about a dozen times. It'll be like,
that's cool. That's cool, but it'll kill it. But it'll kill all that.
Have them up on stage. When Tiffany and Jay have them up on stage, that's what he says. They comment. So hopefully, everyone will listen to him.
No, because that's not how it. That's not how that works, Drew. When that whole thing is going on, half the other people are trying to do their own thing in their own spaces, either on radio row or on the video side. Nobody's going to be in there listening to the ESPN broadcast. So as I said, it's going to be like Marshawn Lynch. I'm just here, so I'm not get fined. I mean, hell, he's going to be saying that whatever that prepared statement is that Kelvin just mentioned, he's going to have to say that.
Josh gonna be walking around
a good dozen times.
No video questions. Or we're not gonna come over here.
They're not gonna do that. I mean, they're not
No, they can ask the question, but once you put out that statement answer about, hey, whatever the results, the consequences are gonna be, we're gonna keep that in house and we're gonna move forward, and we're looking forward to the start of the season. You just drill it, and after once or twice, people get the picture. And it goes away.
Well, like I said, yeah. What? Tell us some. As we get ready to go into SWAC Media Day, what are some interesting nuggets? And I guess, Drew, we can kind of transition into sort of our pre-thoughts about SWAC Media Day. So I'll kind of start with Kelvin. What are some interesting thoughts you have, or some interested things you want to find out or hear from various teams?
I'm interested to see the impact of the quarterback coming into the conference. Alcorn is one. The Alabama State quarterback going to Grambling is another. And then who's on the center for Southern. So the quarterback issue is number one, because that's going to separate the contenders and the pretenders at the end of the day. So I'm interested. I kind of know what we have, and we kind of know what Texas Southern have, but outside of that, we don't know. We don't know what JSU. We know everybody gonna have talent, but how they gonna look? How they gonna start off the season? So that's a big question for me. And then I'm also interested in schedules, because some SWAC schools are playing, like the Texas schools, and I think Alcorn is one too, where they play FCS schools, out of conference,
non-conference. Okay, yeah, non-conference.
Yeah, out of conference. And then you got us and Bethune that kind of play the beatdown games, and then this year we got two non FCS Division I schools on the schedule. So I'm just I'm interested to see how it plays out. How competitive and the SWAC teams look out of conference.
You're not interested in what the on stage banners will look like for the SWAC. This conversation about what the presentation looks like on stage is the most ridiculous ass conversation. I'm with all respect, 1896 dog, you and whoever else out there in social media, y'all making a fuss about what the damn stage looks like is bugging me out. Just because some conference with got digital boards with look, man, y'all are killing me with that and making a big fuss about it. Like, oh, look at the SWAC. They got a banner up there. This other conference got a digital board. This other conference got a big digital board up on the stage. Ooh, come on, man. Y'all, stop it. Okay. I just had to bring that up because I saw that.
Get it out.
I was going to get on this platform. I was going to say it and be done with it. So I don't care if they bring the same damn red banner back up there on the stage. It is what it is, okay? Y'all chill with that, man. Hell, don't even watch the ESPN broadcast. Watch our broadcast anyway. The hell with the ESPN broadcast. So, all right, I'm sorry, Drew. I'm sorry, Drew. I had to get that out. Anyway, your thoughts as we get ready for SWAC Media Day. What kind of interesting nuggets are you curious about?
I'll start with Alabama State.
Mm-hmm.
Can they get some offense to go with their defense that they had last year?
Yeah.
Alabama State had one of
quarterback.
The top defenses. Exactly. What's their answer at quarterback? Can they get some offense to go with? Because Alabama State has some offense. They were a totally different team last year. They can't. I mean, let's be real. They came within a blocked field goal, the kick six of beating FAMU last year, and a couple of other games like that. So that's gonna be my first one that I want to get at. Jackson State. And this won't get answered at Media Day, but what will Jackson State look like? Heard they've got, they got some pretty good talent still in that room left over, plus what they brought in. Question is, how well will it mesh together? We saw what Alabama A&M did last year by bringing in about 52 transfers, and it didn't work for Alabama A&M. Will that work? Because I know Jackson State probably has about 25, 30 transfers coming in this year. Will it work for them this year? That's pretty much and Alabama A&M. Can Alabama A&M rebound back to that championship level that we saw from them a couple of years ago? Going to the West, that's another school that we're worried about the quarterback. Now, Connell Maynard, quarterback developer. Hopefully he can find him somebody who he can develop.
Hot seat.
You must have been listening to me earlier. I said that on somebody's show.
I'm just throwing it out there. Just,
Somebody else who may be on the hot seat. You.
Ooh, don't watch out now. Watch out now.
I'm just being real.
Yeah.
They start off with Hampton, LSU, Florida Memorial, Texas Southern, Prairie View, Alcorn.
Ooh.
I mean,
are you saying if they don't get three? If you're saying if they don't get 3 wins out of that, what are you saying, Drew?
They got to be somebody besides Florida Memorial.
People will start to wonder about Hugh's ability to be a head coach. Is that what you're saying?
Right. They have to beat somebody besides Florida Memorial.
Who will it be
before they go to that back?
Who will it be?
I mean, that's not a easy.
No, that's not easy at all.
You should beat Hampton. It's a neutral site game. You should beat Hampton, but I can see you lose that. All right, we know you're gonna.
Why should they beat Hampton?
Hampton wasn't hitting on too much of that last year. We don't know what they brought in.
Yeah, but they were playing in a different. They're playing different competition.
That is true. Okay, all right, but you got a coin flip against Hampton. LSU, no chance. Florida Memorial. That's your dub. You got Texas Southern at home. You need to get that one. Lose to Texas Southern at home, it's all downhill after that. Because then you got Prairie View on the road, Alcorn on the road before coming home against Alabama A&M. So you talk about hot seats. I think here,
Prairie View is the neutral site. That's the neutral site game in Dallas. That's the State Fair Classic.
Correct. That's the State Fair Classic. You are correct. I didn't have that. I didn't have that marked as a neutral site. But Alcorn, they had that tremendous run game last year. Now you added Tyler Baker to the mix. How will Baker take away from what Howard did last year, or will having a Macon who's a dual threat quarterback will it enhance what Howard did last year at Alcorn? That's another question. Southern, you got 7 quarterbacks. Blood is the leader in the pack right now. So will the quarterback situation get solved early for Southern? They got a test with Alabama State. Open it up on the road at Alabama State. We already talked about how good the Alabama State defense was last year. Then they've got Jackson State, Alabama A&M at home. Where will Southern be at come the end of September. Prairie View, a team that a lot of people expect to contend. But they got to get past Texas Southern in the Labor Day Classic. Prairie View should lose to Texas Southern in the Labor Day Classic. They could potentially be 0 for September. Matter of fact, the loser of the Labor Day Classic between Texas Southern and Prairie View could potentially go 0 for September. I'm going to throw that asterisk for Texas Southern. They do play Lincoln of California on September 30th. So they'll get one in September. But you get my point when I say the teams could be going 0 for September.
Let me define hot seat. My own personal definition of hot seat. 3 consecutive seasons at or below 500. Definition. That's my personal definition of hot seat. So
my definition of hot seat, or they try to get out your contract early. Or they looking at getting out of your contract early. That's hot seat. That
could you're not giving the cause and result of that. Why would they want to get out your contract?
If they try to get out your contract early, you're on the hot seat.
Well, but why? You're not giving the why though.
Probably because you got
more
games to do.
Thank you. That's what I'm trying to say. You're not winning. You're not winning.
But they could just let your contract expire. So
sure.
Certain coaches, they just let them expire, just decide not to renew them.
I'm just saying, you get, most coaches, they say you get, you got 3 years, and by year 3, you want to see the progression. But remember, A&M was where, like, they won a title, and then it's kind of been going.
A title buys you, a championship buys you 3 years.
Did it? Does it?
Yeah.
I'm about to go check. Did it buy Broderick Fobbs extra 3 years? I got to go look that up. Did it? Okay. I'm asking. I'm just asking questions. I'm asking. Here's what. Look. Here's one thing that I just went and I did some numbers. I went and looked at, total offense, total defense from last year. And I had not that I didn't realize this, but I just went back and looked at the stats of how great Jackson State was last year. And for those historians, SWAC historians, I would love to know the last team that led the conference in offense and defense, total offense, total defense, led the league in scoring offense and scoring defense, and then whether it be through mass graduation, which obviously prior to the portal and the way the portal is nowadays, that's how it would have to be, right? You'd have to say that they had a heavy graduating class and they lost, 20-something guys. They don't have their they don't have a lot of returners. 22 guys, let's say they only got 10 returners, okay? So I kind of use it from that perspective. Who's the last team that came back the next year and contended for the SWAC crown, or whether it be division or the SWAC crown? That's what's facing Jackson State.
Maybe Alcorn doing that run.
Again, mass graduations. I'd have to say, did you lose more than half your starters? Right? I mean, 22 starters. Did you only come back with 11 starters the next year and still contend? I would love to know that, because and just going back and looking at what Jackson State did on both sides of the ball, man, it is pretty doggone impressive. I mean, outside of the state of Florida, let me just from an appreciation of college football greatness and great teams, you almost shed a tear. If Jackson State fans were who they were, hold on, listen to me.
Is this thing on? What? Hey, you know them sorry Mets lost. Stop it. Hey.
I'm trying to Hold on. No. Let me finish. Let me finish.
Hey, man.
Hold on, dude.
Hey.
Mute him. Mute Kelvin. No, just listen, hold on. I said I almost wanted, you almost could, if Jackson State fans weren't who they were. I could almost cry a tear for them. No, I mean, I say this with you just outside perspective, right? Man, they had a damn good season, dominating season. And I'm not sure. I'm really just I'm asking the question because I think from a historical perspective, I'm really curious to know who has come back and defended given all that was lost. So that is my big storyline, I think. Now, here I got a question for all of you. There was one other school that finished in the top 5, and I'll say the top 3, along with Jackson State in total offense and total defense last year. Can you name them?
FAMU.
Wrong. Your guess, Kelvin. This
Southern?
Is for everyone out there. Huh?
Southern?
And were they a SWAC team?
Ding, ding, ding. Yes. Kelvin's right. Southern was number 2 in total offense, averaging 398.1 yards per game. Now, that was almost 47 yards per game less than Jackson State. They also had the number 2 total defense, allowing 301.3 yards per game, which was 50 yards more than Jackson State. So, again, and Southern also had the number 2 scoring offense, averaging 31.7 a game. That's 6 points less than Jackson State. And Southern had the number 3 scoring defense, allowing 21.8. That was number 3, which was almost 8 points more than Jackson State. So
I'm going to things up, Bryan. Let's go back and check their schedule. I know I believe they put 86 up against Florida Memorial, and then they played another. I don't even think there were an NAIA team that they played.
DUL or somebody, right?
I don't remember who was, but they had a soft schedule last year, Bryan.
Hey, Jackson State put 66 on Grambling.
I mean, they put 59 on us. So
well, see, yeah. I mean,
but the level of competition, the scholarships were the same. Some of the teams that Southern put those points up on, the scholarship difference was not the same.
All right. Well, I just, okay. So we can check the schedule. So I see a lot of people saying check the Southern schedule. So that's funny how that works. People's see, statistically, this is always, I find that interesting. See how statistically you'll look at what JSU did with a little bit of appreciation for what they accomplished, but at the same time, here's Southern was in that championship. Southern was?
Yeah.
Were they?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. They were in that championship game. And statistically, see, there you go again, discrediting. I'm just finding.
Let's be real. If Andrew Body doesn't get hurt, Southern is not in that game. If Andrew Body doesn't get hurt in the fourth quarter of the last game.
You're probably right, but hey, Southern got there. Okay, so for me, I guess what all that I thought that was something I brought up to say that's the team that I'm sort of predicting to win the West, and looking to see how they build on what they did last year. You're obviously shaking your head. You don't see Southern winning the West.
Nope, you got to wait till Tuesday to find out who I picked to win the West, though.
Oh, okay. Well,
but it will not be Southern.
Since Bryan, since you went on that long diatribe about Jackson State, I'm gonna give you one little nugget about Jackson State that I think is gonna be crucial. It is not about Dion or the coach now, TC, or nothing like that. I think the biggest factor and the biggest difference between what Jackson State does this year and what they did the previous 2 years, I'm going to give you one name, and it is a Sanders, but it's Shedeur. His quarterback intelligence and his execution was next level. You don't see that. You don't see that often. And I don't think he gets the credit that he should get. And though he wasn't considered a dual threat, how he moved in the pocket to escape out of trouble was masterful. And he didn't take a lot of big shots. And he was very accurate with the ball. He didn't turn the ball over. I believe that's going to be the biggest challenge for them. And in the one position I'm really interested to see how they look against South Carolina State.
Mm-hmm. And then as it relates for FAMU, you know, people give FAMU a lot of grief about their running last season, but I went back and looked at yeah, exactly. They were last in rushing offense in the conference, averaging under 100 yards per game, averaging 94.9 yards per game rushing. That's the lowest in the conference, dead last, you know. And so what's interesting is the last 4 seasons for Coach Simmons has really been this up and down of good running game, or I should say, let's take it back. No running game last year. Number 2 offense, number 2 running game year before. The season before that, no running game. But that was in the MEAC, though. That was in the MEAC. No running game, but that team still won 9 games. The year before that, in which they were 6-5, and they had the conference with 3 games to play and ended up not winning it. That team had a running game. So it's been this up and down, you know, cycle over the last 4 seasons under Coach Simmons. And we understand, you know, people are going to say, oh, y'all making excuses. Look, facts are they lost key running backs all throughout the season last year. Okay. And it's not excuses. I don't know if he's talking about what I'm talking about or if he's talking to somebody else, but it's not excuses. It's facts. So what I'm saying is the stable of running backs this year for FAMU should be tremendously better. Yes, and there were offensive linemen lost as well last year. So if the offensive lineman, by the way, Kelvin, you can go to mybcsn.info, read Kelvin's great analysis of the 2023 season for FAMU. Great job, by the way. Lots of good comments all around from that. We have how many offensive linemen coming back? If I read the article right, I think it's something like
17.
17. So there's stability in the offensive line core coming back. So the offensive line is better. We've got added running backs. FAMU will not be here's breaking news. FAMU will not be the worst rushing offense in the SWAC this year. And I will venture so far out to say we will be within the top 5, might even be top 3 this season in running the ball. Bold prediction. I don't even think it's that bold, but there's a bold prediction for you. So,
great.
Yeah. Any other bold predictions or thoughts you guys want to make before we kind of shut it down, Drew? I think we've kind of bled the heck out of this turnip as much as we could.
Yeah. Will someone from the SWAC win the Celebration Bowl?
Ooh, boy, we got to go there, huh?
Well,
should that be a question? That should be a question we ask.
That is an excellent question now.
I mean, only one team not named Carolina, with Carolina in their name, has ever won the Celebration Bowl.
How can a SWAC school win the Celebration Bowl? That should be a question every coach gets asked. Is that the right question? Or maybe let me rephrase that.
No, because the answer is too simple. Have more points than the other team at the end.
Okay, so let's figure out a more nuanced question then about winning the Celebration Bowl, because that is something that hangs out there. I used to think it was because of the delay. You know, when we were over in the MEAC, I used to think it was because the MEAC schedule ends when it does, and the MEAC schools have a longer time. They got the Thanksgiving break.
And that helps.
They don't have a championship. You think that helps?
It helps to get healthy, especially if you got some dings at the end of the season. You got almost 4 weeks to get healthy, and the MEAC has shown that it hasn't been rust. You know, they've come out with
I agree.
They're good.
I agree. I think it helps with the, you know, getting healthy as well as being able to scout your opponent. They get to watch the SWAC championship game and go through an extra week of watching, you know, the opponents and preparing. So I think they have advantage when it comes to preparation.
Yeah. And not only that, but because of what all this happened, they actually get time off. They don't have to worry about preparing for a game and finals at the same time. Because let's remember, they are student athletes. So coaches can scale back things during finals week because they have 4 weeks to get ready. You go hard before finals. You go like finals, maybe some lifting and some walkthroughs during finals. And then after finals are done, then you ramp it back up as you get ready for the opponent. But you've had at least 1 week, if not 2 weeks, to prepare, to study 2 opponents, come up with a game plan for 2 opponents, and then after that first Saturday in December, you know which one of these 2 game plans that you need to do the installs on.
All right. Well, you guys just sold me. I think it also helps when you don't have any distractions, you know, surrounding your team during the course of those 2 weeks after the SWAC championship game.
Let me add one more nugget to it. Last year was an outlier. With the last 2 years, I guess you can say was an outlier. But typically,
why? Because Jack was in it?
Yeah, because of what I'm finna say.
Oh, okay.
Typically, the SWAC quarterback play is not at an elite level. So you can make the teams kind of one-dimensional. You playing the quarterback for the run, not the pass, and you're trying to shut down the run game. Now, Shadur and Jackson State were a little different than that last year. But when I thought about the Alcorn runs and the Grambling runs, they had good offenses. They could put up points, but you know they were still more run-oriented and relying on the athleticism of the quarterbacks.
Hey, Kelvin. No offense, but I think last year was the only year we've actually seen a quarterback duel in the Celebration Bowl. Neither the SWAC nor the MEAC teams have really had that quarterback.
Did you forget about the 100 and something points between Alcorn and A&T?
Well, yeah, but that was based on their running games, though. Who were the running backs in those games?
The kid threw 6 touchdowns, and the other guy threw Felix Harper threw at least 3. He may have ran for 2.
Yeah, but when you get 300 yards on the ground, that's what makes that play action so good in order to make the quarterback look so good. Last year, you had a true quarterback duel.
Yeah.
You've had some good quarterbacks, but last year we actually had 2 great quarterbacks in that game.
Agreed.
We've had good.
Elite quarterbacks. Yes. See, that's what he's getting at, Brian.
Okay. I get what you're saying. You got the top 2 preseason rated guys at the end of the year playing
each other.
If that's what you're saying, I'll give you that. But I don't take anything away from. Oh man, I can't think.
I guess my point. Those were more running teams.
No, it wasn't him. It wasn't Renard. It was the guy who had been in waiting after Renard.
But those were still run-based teams. Those teams were known for their run. This is the first time that we've had 2 teams in the Celebration Bowl known for their passing.
Yeah.
They were there on the arms of their quarterback. Those other games, they come there on their defense and the legs of a running back.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey,
All right.
I guess we're not gonna get into the MEAC and CIAA.
I mean, what did you want to talk about? Did you want to? I mean,
I just do it quick. What do you guys think about the prediction?
You want to talk about the digital backgrounds and stuff on the stage? Is that what you want to talk about? I mean,
just quickly comments on the predicted order finish in each.
Okay, CIAA. Breaking news: Fayetteville State, Bowie State, Virginia Union. That's blue bloods. That's what it's been the last 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, and that's what it is this year. And so, we'll see. MEAC, everyone knew it was going to be North Carolina Central, and so no surprises there. This is my quick take.
I agree with what he said on both. I will say about the MEAC, I think the MEAC is going to be more competitive than what people think. I understand, and rightfully so. Central is the favorite. However, there are some. I still think Howard going to have something to say about it. Morgan State can be a spoiler, and if I had to guess on anybody, I got it. Buddy Pugh, I don't doubt him, man. And folks were down on this quarterback. Remember, this quarterback is like a 6-year senior. And I remember when he came in against FAMU, we didn't know nothing about him.
Yeah, exactly.
And he was slinging that thing all over the place. So,
and he had a great game at the beginning of 2 years ago. Remember that game against Aquil Glass and Alabama A&M? Was it 2 years ago? I mean, that game was like 41-42, and it went down to the last moment. Yeah.
So my prediction is if South Carolina State, if that 6-year quarterback, if he plays up to his capabilities, it's gonna be a battle between them two for the MEAC championship.
Did I say they were a blue blood? Did the words blue blood come out of it?
Yes, you did.
All right. My apologies.
Thanks for calling about, Steve.
Yes, thanks for calling me out. I wouldn't. Let me see. Who is it? Yeah, I wouldn't call. Okay, so blue bloods is a bit of a reach. Okay, that was. I don't know. I was being a jerk. But anyway, But the standard. No, I'll fess up. It is what it is. The standard of those three teams is over the last 5 years. It's been Bowie, Fayetteville, and really that's been the primary two, and then Virginia Union, which I was surprised to see. I was surprised to see Virginia Union
State,
behind
Virginia State.
Virginia State, I was going to say, yeah.
Virginia Union hadn't been able to get over that hump until last year. And they still didn't get all the way over that hump. Virginia State has finished ahead of Union most of those years, Brian.
Last five seasons? I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I don't think that's right. I mean, I haven't looked it up.
Barlow could not be Quentin Morgan.
He had Barlow and them had the 2017 season.
Wilson.
Virginia State had the 2017 season, if I'm not mistaken. But after that season, let me see, that's 18, 19, 21, 22, 23. So 4 or 5 seasons after that, what did it look like for State? I'm just asking. I'm curious. But no, I was surprised Virginia Union was ranked third, and Bowie was ranked second.
Really was.
That was the surprising, but I guess Bowie has moved into that level of the respect is there on the program's name. So, yeah. So, yeah, appreciate that info. Yeah, Virginia Union, best qualifications of those three historically. Yes. And so everyone's looking at Fayetteville State. I'm looking at the non-conference again. First 2 weeks, Fayetteville State. Got to go out and win. Got to win. Got to win. Got to win. Got to win one of those 2 games. I need them to end that streak against historically white college and universities, non-CIAA teams. There's a serious streak there of almost it's over a decade since the last time Fayetteville State beat one of those teams.
Hey, just looking at the schedule matrix, Bryan.
Yeah.
A team that you could see sneak up in there. Could you see Winston-Salem return back? They're looking at 3 crossover games: Elizabeth City, Bluefield State, Lincoln, PA. The same guy who's been in the interim for the last 2 years.
No, but he's officially the head coach now. Don't do that. Stop it. I think
he's the head coach. He's on the record now.
Don't say he's on the hot seat. Don't say it. Don't say it.
I won't. But if everybody's crossover schedule, Johnson C and Winston-Salem in the South have the easiest 2 crossover schedules. In the North, when you look at it, Virginia Union has host Fayetteville this year. Virginia State, St. Aug, Livingstone, and Shaw. Bowie State, Shaw, St. Aug, and Livingstone. So those are your 3. Virginia State, Bowie State have the easiest crossover schedules of all the teams that are out there. Just something to keep in mind as you guys start looking at your CIAA.
I will say, and I'm gonna now, I know I saw the article or what was posted about the CIAA having some games on the HBCU Go network. And if I'm not mistaken, I saw the schedule. I don't know who I saw, but they've got 4 games, 4 or 5, including the championship game, but it's pretty much the big matchups like Shaw versus Bowie, which has been a good game over the last 2-3 seasons, dramatic finishes.
Oh
yeah, who is it? Who is it? Go ahead.
Okay, September 16th, Shaw versus Bowie. That's a 1:00 game. Shaw at Bowie.
Big game. The last 2 or 3 seasons, that game has come down to the wire, if I'm not mistaken. Remember the dramatic comeback by Bowie? The Shaw had the game and then they blew. I mean, that's been a nightmare game for Shaw, if I'm not mistaken, the last 2 seasons.
Yeah. September 23rd, 6 p.m., Fayetteville State at Virginia Union.
Game of the year.
Could be.
Game of the year. Game of the year. Should have been the championship game. Should have been the championship game last year.
Yeah. October 14th, 1:00, Winston-Salem at Shaw.
Well, somebody gets eliminated from contention in that game. I think that's the best way to look at that one.
November 4th, 1:00, Virginia State at Virginia Union.
Doesn't get any better. That game cost Virginia Union. No, it didn't. Did it? Or was it 2 seasons ago?
No, they actually lost to Shawan.
They did. But I remember. You remember the overtime game 2 years ago where
the water bucket play.
Yeah, the water bucket play, the failed water bucket play. Still a head scratcher. Still ahead. One of the most unbelievable plays that never happened. That never went the way it was supposed to go. Unbelievable finish for that game.
And then, of course, the championship game on the 11th at 3:00.
Yeah,
those are the HBCU Go games.
Yeah, and I think the rest of the games you'll have a lot of games on that CIAA Sports Network, which is they do a great job with that game. But those are your spotlight teams, right? Those are your top 5 teams in the 5 or 6 in the CIAA. I mean, that's it. That's what everybody wants to see. Yeah.
Correct.
So yeah, I almost think the MEAC, going back to the MEAC for a second, I almost think the MEAC non-conference games are just as intriguing as the conference games. If you go and look at some of the opponents that they're playing in the non-conference,
Central A&T.
Hey, A&T folks tell me, A&T folks swear they're not losing that one this year. They swear by it.
Will Bowie beat Delaware State again?
Ooh,
week 1.
Yeah,
possible.
Yeah,
I say yeah.
Or will Virginia State beat Norfolk week 1?
Man, but
I believe in Odoms. I think he'll find a way.
That's an interesting one. That's a family game.
Will Howard get their H back in week 3?
No, I'm gonna tell you that now. No. That's one of the look, if I had games that I'm circling, that I'm running to the window, that's one of them. Hampton over Howard by at least 7. I'm telling you that now.
Now I find this interesting. Central plays A&T Aggie Eagle Classic in week 2, travel out to UCLA for week 3.
Spotlight
and
game.
Then they go to Indianapolis in week 4 to play Valley in the Circle City Classic. Is that a trap game
traveling
for Central, that Valley game? Looking ahead when they have Campbell the following week. Is that a trap game?
Campbell's not a conference game. I don't know why it would be a
No, it's not a
game.
conference game, but that's still an expected higher level of competition. You know you're going to have to get up for that Campbell game. Will they overlook Valley in Indianapolis, especially with that being their third road game? Even though it's a neutral site game, that's a third road game in a row.
Well, they're the number one team they're the number one team in Black college football. They shouldn't overlook that game. I think people will give them a pass with the UCLA loss.
Valley beat them. What last time they played? Of course, that was in Intervena.
I'm going to say, how long ago was that?
About 2-3 years ago.
2 years, right? 2 years ago.
2-3 years ago.
Okay. So, yeah, Davius Richard was there then.
He was there. He was the quarterback.
Okay.
It was they had a little help though.
This might have been, and now that I think about it, this might have been a little help at the end. BX SWAC Challenge. I'm trying to remember if that was the same year they went to BX SWAC Challenge.
2 years. No, it wasn't. No.
Valley and lost 2 years ago. That would have been the year they was in the BX SWAC Challenge then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to predict that right now. I got to see what Valley got.
I'm just asking the question.
I think
just for conversation.
I think Central know they the hunted this year, so they can't have no weekends off. So
no days off. No.
Now if they quarterback get hurt, we got a different discussion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We don't wish that on nobody. Right. I want to see Davius Richard at his best week in and week out.
Yeah.
I got one other game in the non-conference BX schedule. What about when Howard travels to Harvard this year?
Here's what's interesting about that game. From an FCS view, from an FBS, I can't even say it. The FCS view and the pollsters in the FCS, Harvard is actually rated very high. Harvard, they are one of the 2 Ivy League schools, I believe, that are probably preseason ranked. And Howard, I think, will have a better season than last year. I mean, Coach wants to play conference championships, and he's calling out Central. It's like that Central Howard game. I got that one circled. I want to see that one already.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
I love it. The back and forth between the coaches, indirectly, of course. Nobody's really calling anybody out directly, but indirectly, I'm saying what I'm saying, right?
How many points did they put up on Howard?
Oh, I think he said 50. Didn't we score 50 on Howard? I mean, he took the O. Hey, he said Hampton took the H. I took the O. I think that's what he was trying to say in that statement. That's really what he was trying to say. So you're just Ward at this point, So
right.
That game has a special meaning. But no, yeah, I think Howard is a better squad than they've been since what was the young man running around, Cam Newton's brother? Since
Taylor.
I think they are probably going to be as good as, I'm making a bold prediction here. They'll probably be as good as they were back then.
But you still didn't answer my question.
I'm sorry, what was it?
What about where Howard travels to Harvard?
What about it? Okay, they need to beat Harvard. They need to beat Harvard. They need to beat Harvard and get on the FCS radar.
Yeah,
I want to see that.
I would love for it to happen. I would love to happen, but I got to see it.
Yeah, I'd love to see an Ivy. They need to play. I think this is a great opportunity for the MEAC schools to find themselves into a niche versus these Ivy League schools. Remember, the Ivy League's not in the playoffs, so they really just play their season and that's it. But they get a lot of attention and a lot of respect from FCS voters. So we talk about a one of the conferences that if the MEAC can, through Howard, or I don't think anyone else is playing an Ivy League school, but if
Morgan goes to Yale the week before.
Okay,
so
September 30th,
Morgan goes to Yale.
That's good. That's good. And I think a lot of people are expecting a better season, a good team from Coach Wilson. So you got two teams that I think are quality MEAC teams, at least preseason on paper, Morgan and Howard, going against two of the storied Ivy League programs and maybe two of the three best Ivy League teams. If they get a W, there it is. That goes a long way in perception for voters. And again, if you care about that, then it's there. Some of you may not, and so there's that too.
Wasn't it Delaware last year who played 3 MEAC schools, and it was part of their six FCS wins?
Beat all 3 of them, right? Beat all 3 of them. See? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So it is what it is.
One other game of Norfolk travels to Tennessee State this year. That'll be on October 14th.
That's Tennessee State's homecoming, I think.
Is it?
I think it is. It may be. That's an interesting game. I mean, two teams that I don't think have played each other.
Brian. You are correct.
Okay, yeah. So I think that's two teams that haven't played each other a lot. So that's a good fresh matchup. Good fresh matchup. Something we don't see every year or even every other year. So I applaud those two teams for making that one happen. Have they had to, jumping off the MEAC for a second, unless you got more thought, have they had the media days for the what is it? The OVC and the CAA, which is what is the Colonial? Not the. Is it the? It's Coastal. The Coastal.
They just changed it, right?
Yeah. Have they had those media days for those teams? I'm thinking about A&T, Howard, and Tennessee State for those who aren't familiar.
I'm not aware of them if they have had them.
Okay. All right. What else? What else we got? I think this is good MEAC's CIAA conversation. And again, I only was messing around earlier just because I had seen some things, but there wasn't a lot of people. I don't want to say there weren't people talking about it, but I think the fervor is different. It's the MEAC schools stay out of the news for whatever, the CIAA, I think, is a challenge because you've got 4 programs, I think 4 to 5, which have really stepped away. Yeah, that's a good point. Media day season was predictable. Thank you, Steven. That's kind of what I was looking for. It was a little predictable. So and that's why there was no shock there, and nothing surprised me. So I kind of like, oh, that's I kind of expected him to be number 1 and 2 and 3. Yep. Oh, that team. Yeah, I kind of expected that too. Nobody other than what Oliver said about Howard. That was probably the biggest quote that I kind of laughed at of the whole thing. So now we get we get SWAC season now, and so everybody gets to get all lathered up and frothy now. So
now we only got one coach that would probably give you any kind of something to chew on. Coach Maynard. He always got something for you, but he ain't got his number 1 antagonist. In the league no more.
I thought it was going to be Hugh. I thought you were going to say.
I think Dooley gonna give you something too.
No, Dooley's he's not giving you anything. No, him, McNair, they're not giving you anything. It's going to be, the standard is the standard. We're going to go out and play good ball. Good coach speak. That's what those guys are going to give us. Good coach speak, and they're going to look good. And okay, great. Now Hugh might give us some nuggets. Hugh might give us some nuggets.
What about you, Rob?
Nah.
Nah. I think he
ain't got nobody he don't like in there no more.
Yeah, he probably likes everybody. Everybody's SWAC now, so he ain't got no issues with anybody. Everybody's SWAC. So shit. I mean, who's he got beef with? Nobody. So that'll be good. So outside of Coach Simmons and I would tell you, Coach Simmons too. He's going to be very dry into the vest. I mean, I've seen it the last couple of years. I mean, he's very, very hospitable to everybody, but no big stuff. So yeah, Maynard and Hugh are probably the two that you're gonna get talking. Might even crack some jokes. You might get them to talk about. Somebody else's coach is going to talk about doing a rap video in the locker room. I'm guaranteed. And if anybody, you watch.
5-1 is Connell Maynard.
5-1. Okay, I like that. Those are good odds. That's good odds. 5-1. I would take that. I would put some pizza money on that.
Wait, and I'll go say this. Shout out to my boy Travis Jerome. If he was still at Alabama State. And if Alabama State, let's see, does FAMU go to Alabama State this year? No, they host it.
No, yeah, they host.
Yeah. But if FAM was going to Alabama State, I guarantee you that video will be up on the board. Remember what they did to Deion his first time there?
Yeah. Well, you got to beat us first. We own the state of Alabama, so I mean, that is Famabama. So that's how I refer to that state. We own that state. So it is what it is. All right. Any final words? Final words, Kelvin. Final thoughts that you want to share with the people.
Well, I just want to thank y'all guys for inviting me on and to talk about a host of things. But I just want to say that I'm looking forward to Media Day being over, and I'm looking forward to whatever the statement is that's come from FAMU on what the results of the investigation are, and I hope it's a close-ended statement, meaning that we ain't looking for down the road. I really hope they close it off, say, hey, whatever the consequences is going to be, we're going to keep it in house and we move forward. And I'm interested to hear when they're going to reinstate football activities. Are they going to go the whole week without football activities and then just roll it into the fall, or are they going to announce something before next Friday?
August 1st is my prediction for the resumption of football-related activities. August 1, because camp starts August 2nd. That's my prediction. So we'll see. Drew, final thoughts.
Are you ready for some football? Let's get ready, man. I'm ready to get up here and get to Birmingham, get this over with, and then start making these predictions and write these articles and voting in these polls and all that kind of stuff, man. I'm ready, man. Let's get all this food.
Hey, shout out to Ken Riley getting inducted to the Pro Hall of Fame too.
Yeah, let's make sure everybody watches that.
Yeah, I believe that is
August 5th.
August 5th. So we got another weekend or so before that happens. I want to encourage everybody, make sure to follow the Black College Sports Network. Tuesday morning, we will have live coverage from SWAC Media Day beginning sometime 10 o'clock, I would imagine. At least that's what we've done in the past. So we will be there broadcasting live. You can, of course, find the show or find the stream on mybcsn.net. You can find it on Facebook. Just look up MyBCSN1. You can also find it on YouTube via the Jericho Broadcast Network's YouTube page, MyJBN1. Or you can download the app, the Jericho Broadcast Network's app, right there in the top right corner, MyJBN, MyBCSN, on the Google Play and Apple App Store. And that's where we will be. We'll look forward to, I'm sure we'll have a good crew of folks there. Look forward to seeing everybody. I'm hoping that all of the other media members that are going, I hope everyone travels safely, gets there in good time. And, I hope that we speak to one another. We all are covering. We're not just flying in for, this one time and then never going to be in this space again. Although, that happened last year. Some people, but anyway, I'm not talking about last year. This year, look, we all come in. Let's speak to one another. We all covering 8. There's enough for everybody. This all helps the diaspora. That's the important thing. The more shows, the more networks, the more podcasts. We appreciate you guys, but you guys have options. And that's a good thing because all of this helps the brand of HBCU sports, whether it be at the NAIA level, Division II, or Division I. So, let's be cordial, friendly. Let's speak, head nod, fist bump, handshake, bro, yeah, whatever. I just hate that walking by people like you don't know nobody. It's like, yo, really? I'm just saying, let's be better, HBCU media. Let's be better when you see, even if we are representing and got our colors on for particular schools and stuff. We all there to cover and let's have a good time and hopefully we get some good information that we can carry with us into the fall camp. So that's my final thoughts and words. Thank everybody, all you guys on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and however you've watched this. You can always support the show. You can support the stream. If you're watching on YouTube, you can always leave a tip on your way out the door. You can also help us out by just hitting that thumbs up button or hit the like button wherever you are. Make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube and our Facebook pages. And that's going to do for tonight. For Kelvin Rosier, for A.D. Drew, I'm Brian Fulford. Be safe, HBCU Nation, and we will see you Tuesday live from Birmingham, Alabama at the 2023 SWAC Football Media Day. Peace out.
Travel light, everybody. We'll holler.
But stay on hard.